Tuesday, 2012, and I just happened to return myself from the town. I was just going to take a little short trip to the store and back, but in fact have turned into something else. It have turned into, I'm about to demonstrate you, and what you see here. This is a valve, and right next to the valve, a little bit further, there is a cut like this one here with a knife, and on the inside. Okay? And the same thing is on the tire. It was like this. I think this is big enough for you to see. No, this is about the best I can get. There's another right here along the edge. Sick. Here's the deal. Just yesterday, I have taken my bike for the first time. I have inspected one. Took one for inspection. Took one at the gas station to put some air pressure in it, and I did, but it was not enough. On what I have parked one downstairs at the main entrance in the hallway, to find one today when I was going to do more inspection on it. Cap from the valve was missing, and also it was parked in the middle of the garage. Strange. Just yesterday I stated I have had one inspected for air pressure. Would you see this? This here that is used to tie wheels to the frame of the bicycle was also unscrewed, but that was not the first time that I have found a bicycle like that. Both of them, the rear one and the front one. If I wouldn't have inspected that and would ride with that, I think that I would have ended up killing myself. That was just yesterday. Today, however, like I stated, I have taken one back to a gas station to add some air pressure, and since this here was stolen from me inside of this very house since yesterday, I have purchased some new caps, new valve caps. Anyhow, it came like this in a brand new package. And I did add pressure in it, in tires, on what I have left the gas station. Went to the store, and on my way to the store, it's like about 30 minutes or so later, I had all of a sudden tire that simply exploded. Okay. From what you have seen from the damage on that tire, it's not difficult to figure out that somebody have slashed the tire with nasty idea, since I was capable to observe the screws from the wheels, from the bicycle wheels that were untied. This kind of stuff, this anticipation in my ending up somewhere, getting me killed basically with a bicycle, already have taken place during 2007 twice on 2 occasions. I didn't report that, but it seems to be more than obvious it's going to be very difficult to set these people up, because this is really scum. The worst scum that it gets, it doesn't get any worse than these people here. And I have in my mind again my father, and of course Mitya Feber. It's just really extremely dangerous people to be around, just as the accident that involved my vehicle, my car. 10:40 when I arrived home tonight. Yeah, it's not gonna be any mistake. This is morning now, June 20, 2012, and I'm definitely about to record this here. So it's not gonna be some mistakes later on. What is, how is this and that? According to the gas station personnel, this was a 100% man-made job. Somebody definitely have gone and created this. Yeah. Okay, this pretty much is what was done. Look at this, right next to the valve on the inside. On the inside, however, there is absolutely nothing. This is a brand new bike, basically. The MacArthur procedure, we start with that. Require not a single individual, or 2, 3, 4, or group of people, but involve, in fact, in my case, it involved entire society, certain segment of society, or if you would say, if you would like, a ruling portion of the society, which in my case during 1998 were 50% non-natives from here, either Serbs or from some other parts of Yugoslavia, or were extreme pro-Belgrade, pro-Serbian, pro-Russian communist scum. They might have been natives, but we had absolutely nothing in common with these people. In fact, you would have to work hard to find the scumbags like this within the society. There aren't many, not even to find, that you could just go and point out. You can't easily point out scumbags like this. Important, because when targeted victim is subjected to a crime by so many different individuals, and that's the very idea. The idea is to use many different individuals that use, every one of them gives you a certain amount of violence. The idea itself is such that the individual could not return back with pointing at single individual, or 2 or 3, a group of people, and so on. But because it's so many individuals involved, and each did certain amount of evil to you, of violence to you, you're actually not capable to act accordingly and state, he did this, he did this, he did this, but you actually have to put up with all this violence that was done against you while having these criminals literally laughing in your face with crimes that continue to take place against you. Yes, like the crime that was either car assassination plot, or now I had a bicycle and so on, or you don't have the right for the job or anything like that, while laughing in your face and just simply anticipating, waiting for you to either commit something that would get you rated as violent, or discredit itself with some kind of irrational statement like that. At the same time, the criminals take as a luxus or as a privilege of abuse, okay, la crime de l'abuse, they also reserve the right to come up forward not only with the crime itself, with more crimes, but to literally throw in your face the stuff that is totally irrational, totally idiotic, incredible, and it's used to completely destroy your self-confidence, to basically destabilize you, to make you insecure, unsure, and destroy you
parallel with the crimes that continue to take place against you. This is a very good definition of McCulloch procedures itself. And in this particular situation, people, as I stated, and why this refers to my incident that have taken place yesterday, the bicycle, is because I have left the bicycle over there with this particular individual. I didn't have nothing else left than to leave one at one of the nearby houses, and I did so with this individual who allowed me to park one behind the house. Okay, to afterwards, with dismounted entire wheel, as you have seen on the video, have one inspected on a gas station, and purchase total brand new replacement of tire and inner tube at a local store, which I have done today, with idea, of course, to replace the whole thing, as I stated. And it was very nice of this individual, where I have that bicycle, that he was not only standing by, but he actually gave me a hand on what he anticipated, how he's gonna, after the bicycle was already repaired and everything, how he's gonna give me, like, I would say, load of, it's like you turn the TV to a specific station where there's like only commercials that go on. And that's the same way I felt that once the bicycle was, everything was fixed, he came up like with a load of garbage, with a load of tremendous lies, scam, to make me feel, the idea was to make me feel insecure, to totally destabilize me with the lies, and anticipate how not only the crime that have taken place against me that could leave me literally in a ditch, either crippled or even maybe dead, who knows, would be actually tolerated with the lies that communist system have projected as a brainwash procedure afterwards, that was given to me by this individual, who came up with all kinds of theories to give me really the most idiotic ideas per how could possibly be, and what probably was, according to him, the reason why both tire and the inner tube exploded at the same time and have left like 4 centimeters long crack, as seen in the video. The idea that totally countered, I gotta say, my theory, or gas station staff and store salespeople and so on. However, the lie, it was expected on my behalf, to tolerate lie, because he allowed me to park bicycle there across the night. It was anticipated for me to tolerate the lie because he was helpful, because he gave me a hand when I mounted back the tire. That was really, really anticipated, and I think the whole situation also was recorded, and due to this idiotism, that I really couldn't agree with any portion of his statements, because they were really beyond idiotic, and as I'm about to explain, I have ended what also was anticipated. They have anticipated how I'm gonna react and say, F you or something like that with your lies, take them somewhere else, stop with, telling me garbage and scam and stuff like that. On what he probably, they would come up with, we did this for you and now you do, and this is a gratitude and stuff like that. I have avoided all that stuff, and instead we ended like, I told him, I said, listen, everybody's got a right to his opinion. If this is your opinion, hey, that's fine with me. That doesn't, affect me, but I do have the right to my opinion. It was strange because he really was, so irritated. He was really, really looking to either my buying his lie or getting into like verbal confrontation with him. Maybe they just wanted to see how much damage these criminals have done to me. How is it with my nerves tolerating all this abuse or something like that. This is how we ended. I went my way. I thank him for the help, bye-bye, and that was it. But it's very, very important for me to proclaim this, because if I wasn't self-assured, if I wasn't mentally stable as I am, at this point these people would have cracked me. And that's the idea. In fact, the communist pro-Belgrade, the cannibals, the pro-Serbian, pro-Russian scum, communist scum, the cannibalians were so ambitious with their garbage. They don't like to work. These are the laziest people in the world. But when it comes to crime, boy, these are the top of the line people. You can't get worse criminals than what they are. But they were so ambitious, they came up with ideas. That's what was his commercial. How the tires should be, regardless of the use, replaced every 4 years. Therefore, even if you have a new tire, you should replace one every 4 years, according to this individual. And that lie was translated and have referred to my vehicle incident in 2007, where car assassination plot was exercised against me, and the road was covered with oil, basically in a place called hell. Okay. But it would be something that, according to him, because the material deteriorates, and material does deteriorate, but not like this. Not that because material deteriorates, the material in 4 years, the tire is no good, and the tire cannot hold the traction anymore, doesn't have any traction with the road anymore, what he was trying to sell me, garbage. Okay? Further, how, according to him, how the bicycle, my bicycle, you have seen the tire, almost new tire. Bicycle was used 30 times, on 30 occasions or so, during 2007. Other than that, it was parked. I was absent, or did not use one for 2 years. Okay, parked for 2 years, during my absence, and another 2 years when I didn't use one. According to him, regardless of usage, regardless of condition itself, the tire in 4 years like this, like mine, it was already completely probably deteriorated, according to him, and some kind of what he referred, it was nowhere seen, nowhere near, nothing like this. But according to him, probably a wire from the tire or something pinched through the tube, which exploded, and as one exploded, it exploded also a tire. I mean, beyond idiotic. But if it sells good, and if it doesn't sell, hey, it was like, you have to believe me, and you have to believe me, and you have to believe me. Now, we go back to my cultural procedures. As I have stated previously, you can never point a single individual, or 2 or 3, and so on, what was done against you. But the idea of my cultural procedures, when targeted in a single individual, is to involve as many individuals as possible, and for each and every one of them do a harm to you. And that's why I will not tolerate this lie either, and want to make sure that not only what they have done to me with the bicycle, with the car before that, but I'm here also to expose the type of lies that these criminals actually anticipate. I would swallow, I would absorb, and go along the great communist propaganda. So it's important, simply important, for me to declare this comeback. So we make that clear, that I did not swallow any of that garbage.
If you would look the tire and tube, they're placed on rim, and if you would look one that's in here like this, then would be exactly would look like that. As all this white thing that you see here, okay, and once this is blown, the tire protects inside as well as rim or wheels bed, if you like. That's where it's seated. When it comes to the air valve, from tube, it would look like this, more or less. It's right on the bottom like this. There's a hole here, and it is so there is no impact, the exterior impact anywhere that could affect tube in any way. What have taken place to me was actually at the area that is the most protected. That it's actually close to impossible. I'm not going to say that that never happened before. People are actually suggesting me that was blown in the area which protects the tire with aluminum itself. Okay, the tube was punctured somewhere here, where it's aluminum, where aluminum is. As a matter of fact, the tire itself does not even come in touch with area that was punctured, that was the cut produced by a knife. So that communist theory that how there was a wire that likely punctured the tube is totally non-valid. Practically new bike. I'm not gonna use one because I don't want to die. Simple as that. That always can be something that can be done. And taking in consideration the criminals, their past crimes, their violence, and everything against me, I think it would be a stupid thing for me to go and climb hills to the sun afterwards with speeds and stuff like that. I end up probably killing myself if I did that. I'm sure they're going to attempt something else as well. So I'll use one for a short trip to the store, very slowly, but that's about it.
And finally, as stated in main title of this video 86, I'm about to talk to you about what low frequency sound torture is. I got plugs in my ears. They would boycott anywhere from grass to smash the doors, walk in and out, telephone would ring, and who knows what else. You're probably going to be capable to even hear what's taking place, but I gotta go on with this video. Also in this video, I feel that there is stuff that I'm about to talk to you in case that you're familiarized with my previous videos. It's really it's just getting more and more disturbed. It's going to involve individuals that, honest to God, I would not even mention. It's the type of people that you selectively, ignore in real life. It's what I'm trying to suggest. It's real garbage. The type of people I'm about to talk to you. In fact, individuals do hold doctorates, degrees in all kinds of fields, but I think that more than anything that I am dealing actually with mentally retarded people, not only people who have all kinds of challenges in their lives, the way they were brought up politically, with their political orientations and stuff like that, but really more than anything mentally challenged people. I think that people that I'm talking about in this case, and they're supposed to be really some kind of a biomedical doctors and I don't know what else. They have such a variety of degrees and books and boy, I don't know what else, which the whole thing is a scam. That it really makes you wonder, what this world consists of, what this world made of. In particular, before I go to this sound frequency, low frequency torture, electronic harassment, what they refer to one as,
I will suggest an individual by the name Aneta Stefanowska, which I have mentioned also at the end of the video 85. And this, I don't know what it is, whether it is Serb, Macedonian, Russian, whatever she is. It's one of the people that is involved in this case with a group of other people, because this is what they do. We're talking about groups of people who have some sort of accreditations, degrees, doctoratums if you like, and perform variety of crimes. Yeah, if you would say human experimentation, that probably would be, I would say, even rewarding for this garbage. Because some of these individuals have actually even approached me and have suggested me how they will expose this group if I will do, you know, a good job and point out everyone and everything the way it was. In case that main writer of literature or certain book would not include them as a co-authors and stuff like that. You know, so it's like a crime that is performed on behalf of a certain political agenda, and that involves a few people who have extremely high interest in crime due to financial rewards or whatever, maybe personal issues also. But in my case, it's Mitja Faber. He is the one that is mostly performing all this garbage, and it's also individuals that have received some kind of award, financial award, very high award for research or whatever he claimed. The whole thing is a lie, really. Was given to him so he could claim that reward literally and use the money as, you know, as this for that. You know, we'll pay the money so you can perform the crime against this individual. In fact, one of the physicians that was in Miami that was a British have clearly suggested me that he will expose this group of people if they will not include him in future literature or book writing, book publishing. It's very important for these doctors to have their names in as many literatures as possible, because it gives them like certain credibility, like they have come up with a certain research. Now, it's also exactly why I claim that most of this research is that these gangsters claim that are conducting are nothing else than just ways to milk the money at society's expense and really cover one another, you know, tit for tat. You know, you give me this and I give you that for this. maybe next time another individual is going to return to the other one a favor, and so on and so on and so on. But yeah, as I previously stated, I don't know if you hear, there he goes, the telephone goes on. Let's just continue. That's why earplugs. Earplugs are really, really, really good. Good solution. Aneta Stefanowska. We're talking about really mentally challenged individual. What it says here, that currently is involved in some kind of exploratory analysis of the phase dynamics of brain waves, and then it goes with previously stated like a whole list of projects that she was involved and dealing with the people from Ljubljana, Oslo, Prague, and all the way to New York, Potsdam, Pisa, and so on. Yeah, really, the people that were involved in my case really were mostly Eastern European communist garbage, Russian Serbs, also from here, from so-called Slovenia, from Ljubljana, and then Norwegians a lot, for obvious reasons, as explained in my previous videos. But then also with much lesser involvement, also people from UK, United States, etc., were involved. But let's go back to Aneta Stefanowska, if you like. 1991 war was regarded to the world, the Yugoslav war between the Yugoslav republics, was regarded to the world as an ethnic war. Ethnic war means within the war for within the same race, but between ethnicities, between different ethnicities. That's why they were referring to me on behalf of Eastern European communists. Slavics come as separatist, as also nationalist. But separatist was somebody who wanted to go away from Yugoslavia. And I never was afraid or ashamed to admit that. Because I also claimed that this was not an ethnic war, but in fact was a racial war. The differences between us and someone like Aneta Stefanowska or people from the south are so great that if you would compare Northern Americans, whites, with Mexicans, it would be absolutely, I would say, just about the same thing. You can really not compare the two. I pretty much believe that it's more than not a racial war. We are concerning the war in the Balkans that took place in '91, more than anything else, and not ethnic war as they were trying to suggest. So I want to correct them also on that issue. Let's take it easy. This is much more than just ethnic war. And yeah, Aneta Stefanowska, you were in so-called Slovenia, and really a reminder, because afterwards you also appeared in Miami, in fact 8,000 kilometers away from so-called Slovenia. You appeared in my store to threaten me. First of all, Slovenia used to be part of German nations for over 1,500 years, over 1,500 years, even before Holy Roman Empire existed. And afterwards, with part of Austria and so on, part of German nations. That's why I have stated that. And that's why I reserved, the right that you, Aneta Stefanowska, who have freeloaded in so-called Slovenia at my expense and at the expense of other fellow natives here, of whom more than 50% were exiled, killed after World War. You have took a huge credit and initiative to engage in crime against me in particular. When you came in the store in Miami to threaten in my face how thanks to the wonderful people that I have presented to you, you will be able to mutually exchange the knowledge, and further, that's according to reality or who you truly are. You have stated that you are a biography writer, and that at first you do not admit, but it's completely normal to go crazy due to torture involved in case against one. And you have come back on several occasions to repeat this to me in my face, to challenge me, because I think that, really personally, I think that you honestly, like I've stated, it's the type of people that you go into that group that in my life, under my preferences, I don't even see as I walk down the street, to be honest. You're ugly as fart on the first place. And secondary, you are mentally challenged. So it's extremely important for me not to respond to your sickness with the same degree as yourself. What else can I say? Biography writing in political sense translates basically not only in case management or familiarity with whatever the system is going to do against you as a targeted individual, but also taking initiative, not only participate therefore in this persecution, but also take initiative in crime itself against targeted individual. That's what I'm trying to point out. But yeah, since she mentioned what was international exchange and the wonderful people, the international knowledge exchange, or how they will assist you, or the new friendship and stuff like that, it's extremely important for me to one more time regard the people that have brought me with them to so-called Slovenia. Not that I brought them with me, but they brought me with them in 1998. And I'm referring to Romney, Gingrich, Ron Paul, Randy Paul, Bachmann, Perry, and probably other folk too. As Zionist garbage, as a Zionist scum is what I refer to that as. What I did not mention, but it's extremely important fact that I have failed to mention, and it pertains to 9/11, to September 11, to Twin Towers bombing, World Trade Center bombing in 2001, is fact that when we left back to United States of America, and on the way we have stopped as well in what was Norway, communists have arranged with Americans, with the Zionists, not with Americans, but with the Zionists, exchange visit. What I'm trying to point out, I have failed to mention in video 81, 82, 83, 84, that Russians, Serbs, on behalf of pro-Yugoslav Slovenian communist scum, have paid the visit in return to United States of America. It was like, no, now it's our turn to go to United States of America for a visit. You brought Americans, I did not. Brought this Zionists over here. They brought me. However, the communist scum claimed how I have brought them, and it's now time, their turn, to pay the visit to United States of America. And so they did pay visit to United States of America in 1998. In fact, in Washington, D.C., as I have stated, terror trip in Washington, D.C., where I was pretty much told because you don't ask an individual that is all drugged up, under MacArthur procedures, you don't ask an individual about his opinion. When literally, for me, that's exactly what it is, literally holding one knife under his throat. And Ron Paul, who was present during this
visitation during the horror trip to Washington, D.C. in 1998 was challenging me in front of this communist garbage. I could feel their presence. I knew they were there, and he was challenging. What do I think about Slavic or Russian cooperation with the United States of America? And he had in his mind the tunnel under Bering Sea that would connect Alaska, American Alaska, with eastern part of the Russia, if you like, that borders Bering Channel, Alaska. So I deemed that not to be the question. I deemed foremost, more than anything, that to be told. And yeah, I said, fantastic, that's great, that's great. What else can you tell the scumbag when you are basically drugged up and ask that type of question in front of the, listen, Russians and stuff like that, Serbs and other garbage. What exactly do you do? Before I left the United States of America in 1998, I was brought to University of Ljubljana, where Slavoj Žižek, that's another psychopath, that's another mentally challenged, disturbed idiot, maniac, that have threatened, that have promised to ruin my life for whatever cost because of what I have done, because these people appear in so-called Slovenia. And in fact, the whole thing, there you go, again the phone, the whole thing was organized by them. And that's how he introduced in the family Mitja Weber, which is a Serbian, and I understand also Jew.
Мы с президентом Бушем говорили, и я в разговоре с ним упомянул о том, что на днях был убит лидер Северного альянса в Афганистане Масуд. И я сказал тогда американскому коллеге, знаешь, меня это очень тревожит, такое чувство, что что-то должно произойти. Они явно к чему-то готовятся.
The next day was the 11th of September, 2001.
Okay. Sound torture, low frequency torture. How does it feel? It feels bad. You're pretty much 24/7 targeted with whatever device that is, that can produce that continuous. What it does, it actually changes the frequency, the sound frequency, and you could feel one on your ear membrane that it changes, not every time, but oftentimes you can feel that it changes the ear membranes. It's totally different. This is not a sound hallucination that was the idea of ongoing construction that went on for like a year, that was taking place around the residence, around the house. The idea was, the idea behind it all was for me not to realize that also parallel to that already was taking the place also low frequency sound torture, basically cover up with one another. So that construction already stopped, and now, they could even say that that's sound hallucination and stuff like that, but it's not. The computer screen is still collapsing. The windows are still collapsing. They are still erratic. As soon as I would plug in mouse, they do not function. If I distance myself from the residence and plug mouse in and stuff like that, it's completely normal. It works fine. However, not inside of the house. And other stuff. There you go. The phone goes on again, and that never stopped and went on and goes on, and it goes on like this since it all started here in so-called Slovenia, because it's not about lack of respect, but instead cannibalism is the harassment. And that's why I mentioned also this microwaving. I don't know what kind of technology is. I'm not going to say expert because you don't actually have to be expert, you just have to be idiot enough to, I guess, click the button and it goes off. But what it does is, it would allow you, just like the sound frequency, low frequency torture is used, to continuously give you sounds. It's used to what I would refer to as almost like, it's not exactly electrify you, but it's extremely annoying. It's like, if I repeat, I'm going to try to imitate the sound. It's like almost give you like sort of electric impulse or something, and it's like sound. It's like at the same time, there you go. The phone goes off again. It's a mania. At the same time, the computer, and this I'm talking about when you go to sleep. So every time when you would just disconnect your mind and relax yourself, go to sleep, you know, in order to process your thoughts, your memories, and everything else in proper sequence. That's what the sleep is used for. It's when you get this like electrifying crap. What it would do also is it would activate computer, laptop, and I'm not talking about maintenance schedule or something like virus scan or disk defragmentation or anything like that, but this is literally you're all hot. It's like flash, and it's coming at you like in flashes, like flashing you. It turns off, turns on at 3, 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's really it's experience, and it's the stuff that goes on, and the idea is to totally irate you, to totally disallow you to go normal about in the world already. This one here is. The third thing that I'm going to mention to you is quick fix. It's misstatement that I have made in respect to my injury under my right eye. I have referred to one as lack of blood circulation because of my being locked here, imprisoned, house imprisoned, or in other words, every time when I would go for a walk, I would have cops, groups of police officers, people literally showing me on the sidewalks. They are literally looking for altercation, and what as a result had me exercise now in the forest where I got thick, and I believe also what is Lyme disease. You will see the video if time. If not, I'm going to have to create another video about this. And it's what I have stated on March 25th, I believe, and it was already going on for like 2 months and so. That was the reason, the lack of circulation, because I was house in prison here for like a year and a half. I got like 91, 92 kilos I ended up. However, a month and a half ago, I started to exercise again, as I stated. I started to exercise because this here was about 3 times bigger than now. It was painful, and it already felt as if I'm going to end up losing my right eye. So between the pain, between losing my eye and going out there, and even if it has to be physical confrontation, I have chosen to go and physically exercise myself. Well, it doesn't help. It helps, the pain is gone. However, when I return, it would go back, not entirely, but you can feel when you are radiated with this garbage, whatever it is, electromagnetic, or I don't believe the sound frequency have to do with this one, but whatever other stuff they're doing, you can feel how it's growing back, boy. It goes like a mushroom after the rain. It's growing back. It decreases as soon as you're out. You go for a walk. It gets smaller. Once you come back, you go for a sleep. It's all back, baby. That's just another proof that they go on and on and on and on, and the idea behind it is to create what is cancer, basically. They are trying to create what is tumor, and they are extremely successful at it. If you look at this part of my head, okay, the right side of my head, I know on computer this looks like a left side, but it's actually right side of the head. I have a vein here because I used to exercise a lot when younger. Okay, on this side, however, you don't see this. In fact, there is something else that you can see. And yeah, this part of the skull was broken in Karlstad 2 years ago. And this side of the head, it's still inflated. It's still swollen. That means that the idea, as I have stated, the worst case scenario was to literally create me brain tumors also. And that's exactly why they are doing it all. Now, why have I stated to you in video 78, I believe, on March 25th this year, how this is only because of the circulation, because of my being locked? Well, I feared a lot saying stuff that could suggest that I'm suffering from some sort of schizophrenia or bipolar disease, because McCulture procedures were used to scare the crap out of an individual. Whenever you're going to say this, well, we're going to do this. You're going to say this, you're going to do that. So not only now you cannot point a single individual, but they were using to literally terrorize, threaten, and even more, as you're about to find out. In 2003, in fact, I was abducted in the States, brought right here in so-called Slovenia, to have surgeons stabbed me repeatedly with a needle with what appeared to me as, or it was like some sort of surgical instrument or something in this area right here under my right eye, with intention to cause me long-term permanent injury, which under circumstances as described here would develop into cancerous tumor. And it did. These criminals, however, have at the time suggested me under McCulture procedures how it's some kind of chip they're gonna implant. Now, if I would come and state to you that it was chip implant, or what they have instructed me and stuff like that to say, I probably would be really, really bad. I don't know enough about this electronic harassments, but in my opinion, it would be like totally bad statement to say that. It would serve them as their sadistic performance, as their sadistic use of those needles to stab me, to cause me this injury, would use them as a perfect excuse on the other hand. Now, for things to be even more screwed up, they came up with more sadistic, if you like, surgery, which was performed also in 2002, this abduction, by dermatologists who have with a microscope researched my facial skin area to literally find areas where, according to him, at least what he was stating me, at least what he was saying, were nerves, the tips of the nerves that would come to the top of the surface, and have cut them out literally with a whatever was instrument, and what would, according to this type of Aneta Stepanovska psychopaths, this pro-Yugoslav, pro-Serbian, pro-Russian, pro-Slavic communist garbage scum, cannibals, result in the future my developing what would be a skin cancer if overly exposed to the sun. And since these criminals have brainwashed me continuously how I should not use razor blades to shave myself, but instead depilatory cream, because during every abduction these people did not shave my face with razor blades, but they have instead applied what was depilatory cream to wipe off my beard afterwards, to shave me that way. What also they have anticipated, and they have suggested how great that is, that I would actually end up using one, and also with a cancer because of that stuff. Now, I did end up using one. But due to totally other reasons, for the first time I end up using one in 2011, in the beginning of 2011, when I have literally suffered what was herpes outbreak on my facial area, on my beard. The herpes have appeared for the first time in my life, obviously due to stress, obviously due to enormous load of stress. It was sometimes in February, March of 2011. I didn't have any medical insurance I would use, and as soon as it would heal, what I did was I used depilatory cream in order to destroy one, in order for skin to absorb the chemical depilatory cream, chemical substance, and destroy one. The virus herpes is extremely sensitive, and as soon as one would come in touch with the soap and stuff like that, it would be destroyed simultaneously. Now you can only imagine what depilatory cream does to the stuff like that, and that was exactly my theory, which, better than I anticipated, it terminated herpes from my facial area. I'm sure you understand, once you get it on the face, there are great chances that sooner than later you're going to get one also in your eye, and once you get it in your eye, there's no way out. There's no way out of it. You're blind pretty much. Okay? So due to my fear that I actually got herpes in this area, because that was about a few months later that this have appeared, I have rather stated, that it was due to poor circulation and stuff like that. And then another thing that have taken place is I have returned back to Miami after abduction. This is the follow-up they do also, criminals. Just like with the incident with the bicycle. What they have had is, as soon as I would walk out of the apartment and go out for a walk, they would have elderly people coming to me right in the face. Hello, how are you? This and that. This, what you're seeing, this? Oh, this is because I'm old and I stay inside. And it's because I don't move around and stuff like that. That's why I have this. You will also have this when you got old and stuff like that. So what they do is, they don't only cause you like injury and stuff like that. And also really violence, like you're going to get the cancer. You're going to get the cancer and stuff like that. Pathos, in other words, which they anticipate you would also develop due to, really, like I stated, this isn't about science or even human experimentation, but it's instead about ethics of butcheries. They really are anticipating, so they do just about everything to cover up that, and even follow up after the procedure itself that would allow them for you to state anything out there, just not whatever have actually taken place.